the Walther PPQ 22. Let's check it out. The Walther PPQ has been hugely popular with Walther, mainly because of that trigger. It is one of the best striker fire triggers on the market, if not the best. I mean, it is just a crisp, clean break. Then you take these ergonomics on this handgun. They just mold in the hand, and really Walther has perfected that feel to their handguns. But if you have a PPQ, picking up one of the Walther PPQ 22s is just a no-brainer. It's cheaper to shoot, lower recoil, not as much, going on with muzzle blast. It just makes for a great day at the range. It's inexpensive to shoot, and if you're taking out first-time shooters, 22 is excellent. Now, Walther still has their P22, which is one of my favorite 22s. It's a lot smaller, it's easy in the hand, but the one thing about the PPQ 22 is the size mimics the same as your full-size Walther PPQ. So again, this makes it just excellent for training, but also just a lot of fun at the range. Now, being a big PPQ fan, I was really wanting to check out their 22. And so GunBuyer.com got in touch, and they sent this for the test and evaluation, and I really appreciate their support. The Walther PPQ 22. It's an aluminum slide, blowback, polymer frame, hammer-fired pistol. And we're going to look at some of the interior, but on the outside, it looks exactly like the standard PPQ. And of course, I have one right here, and all the dimensions are exactly the same. I mean, everything. In fact, really, you can't tell the difference. It's really funny because even on the slide, there is no indication that this is a 22. It just says PPQ. Right here at the bottom, though, in the frame, it says caliber 22 long rifle. And that is the big indication. Plus, the barrel's a little different. You have your standard proof marks, which Walther usually has. And then here, of course, it's a little bit more pronounced. You have a little more color on it. One of the big differences, though, as far as the outside appearance, is the slide itself. It is a kind of an anodized finish. Again, it is aluminum. It's kind of or more of a parkerized finish to it. So it gives it a very matte look, whereas the slide on the regular PPQ has a little bit of a sheen to it that the PPQ 22 does not have. Also, the external extractor right here is absent on the 22. But really, overall, they're very similar in design. And one of the things about that is if you have the standard PPQ in 940, 45, you're going to be able to transition to this as a training tool. And so, it just makes it nice. It's low recoil. It just helps mainly to be able to get to those controls really easily. And so, again, let's go ahead and check to make sure the guns are unloaded. They have been already checked, and they are. Now, that's definitely a difference from the standard PPQ, which has a black magazine. Gun is unloaded. This is a 12-in-1 magazine, which makes it really nice for 22. Most that you're finding out there are around the 10-round mark. It does have a nice polymer base plate, but one of the big noticeable differences too, when you're pulling back the slide, it just comes back so easy, like a lot of your 22s. I mean, it's just a really low pressure bringing it back. And because the round is a lot less pressure. But aside from those few differences, these two guns are very similar. And one of the big things with the Walther PPQ, the standard version, this is the 9mm, is the trigger is just excellent. And really the trigger on this one is no different. Even though really internally there are a lot of differences. But really, because of the blowback design, there is a little bit of added weight. We'll look at that when we break the pistol down. But the ergonomics are about the same. One of the things that you're not getting with the PPQ 22 is interchangeable back straps, but it has a great medium feel to it. And I'm sure this is the medium back strap. And to be honest with you, these grips, with small hands or large hands, these are just a very ergonomic handgun. Then we have the Walther P22, and this is more based on the standard P99 series. I've had this one for years. They've updated it since then, but this has been one of my favorite 22 handguns. I mean, it is such an excellent, very ergonomic pistol. But when you get into the ergonomics of the PPQ, it does surpass even the P22. It's a very small pistol. I mean, it's made just a very handy, which a lot of the 22 pistols that are made by a number of companies can be smaller than their big brothers. And that's one of the things that I really love about the PPQ 22, is that it just has a good solid feel to it. It is the M2 model, so it does have your standard magazine release right here on the side of your grip. You have a last round hold open feature, of course, and your slide stop is long and easily managed. Front and rear cocking serrations, very easy to pull back. I'll tell you guys, you take youth out or female shooters or those with fairly weak hands, this is a lot of fun to take to the range. The sights are metal on the back, they are adjustable, and they're black outlined. And then we have a white dot here on the front. One thing that was surprising is the weight on the standard PPQ, 1 pound 8.2 ounces. PPQ 22, 1 pound 6.4 ounces. So there's not a lot of difference. Now it does have your standard trigger safety right here that blocks the hammer action like a lot of your striker fire pistols, and because of that it does not have an external safety. It does have a hammer block safety that is in the pistol, and that way the gun can be safely carried with one in the chamber. But the trigger action itself, just some nice take up right here, and then a really crisp snap. Reset right there. So it's a very quick reset. So to me, it really mimics the PPQ trigger, which is legendary. Now we're going to test the trigger pull weight with our Lyman trigger gauge from Brownells. 3 pounds, 8.8 ounces. 3 pounds, 12.8 ounces. 3 pounds, 12.1 ounces. So around the 3.5 to 3 3/4 pound trigger pull. It's very smooth, very nice to pull. I mean, this allows for good accuracy as well, that trigger pull, and very fast second and third follow-up shots. We have a nice full Picatinny rail, squared off trigger guard with serrations, and of course the grip itself has those really nice grip texturing that comes with the PPQ. And to be honest, I think this is a little more aggressive than the 9mm. In fact, it's definitely a little more aggressive. There's a little bit more catch to your finger than it is on the PPQ. The PPQ can be, even though it has this really nice cross texturing, can be a little slick sometimes. But with the 22, I'm getting a better feel to it. The magazine release can be switched to the other side, and it does have ambidextrous slide release. And it does have a 4-inch barrel. They do have a couple of other models. One is their tactical model, which has a threaded barrel, a few different sights on it, and then they have the 5-inch model that, you know, just extends the barrel out just a little bit more. That's a nice version as well. I know some do come with fiber optic sights. These are not the same sights as your standard PPQ. And here we have the standard. They are not interchangeable. The dovetail in the back is different. We're going to be using the Aguila. This is their super extra 40 grain. We have the copper washed, and then we have just the black lead bullets. And I really appreciate Aguila for sponsoring the ammo. These magazines hold 12 rounds, and there's a little knob right here on the edge that makes it really easy to load, which is the bane for a lot of the 22 magazines. Gun smoke. Went down to the range, we shot both Aguila and CCI Mini Mags. We had a couple of issues right up front with the Aguila. It seemed not to want to go into the chamber. It was kind of buttoned up against the chamber top. But then once we kind of got started, it ran really well. Then we switched to CCI Mini Mags just to see if there was a lot of difference, and we had a couple of hang-ups with the CCIs. So I think one of the things that I didn't do was lube the gun before I brought it down. I typically like to bring it right out of the box to the range. But being 22, it probably would have helped to get a little bit of lube on it. We'll give you an update coming up. But the ergonomics are so PPQ. I mean, it feels like one. The trigger is so crisp. And of course, follow-up rapid shots were fine. As far as accuracy goes, definitely really tight groups. Shot the first group and then came in with a second group off camera just because I wanted to shoot again, and it tightened things up really well. First group, then I came in with a second group, just one nice jagged hole. You know, it is capable of really getting good accuracy. The sights make a good contrast with the white dot at the back, and then you have your black outline. It seemed to bring it in very well. These are adjustable, and so you can adjust these down. It was shooting just about an inch high or so, and that was at 7 yards. But overall, it's a lot of fun to shoot. Of course, the recoil is about 0. It did smoke a little bit, especially it seemed like with the Aguila a little more, but the CCI Mini Mags were as well. But a lot of fun, low report, not a lot of muzzle blast. They're just a lot of fun. Getting a 22 out, whether it's for your training or bringing out new shooters. So I always like to introduce them first to a 22. Rubber Dummies is one of the best training tools on the market, and you get a 10% discount using Suit00 when you click the link down in the description. You can do it! Now, to disassemble the firearm, drop your magazine, check to make sure the gun is unloaded. Right here we have these tabs. This is your takedown tabs. You can pull them down, bring your slide back and up. This is a blowback design, and as it comes forward, of course the recoil spring came out with the slide. It actually fits on this guide rod, and the guide rod actually pops out just like this. One thing that you'll notice is that it has a buffer right here, and the buffer goes with the flat end toward the pistol itself, and then the spring fits down in to that buffer, and this is really important. Then it's really easy. Just set it back into the way that it came out, the flat side up, and it'll go right back into place. Now, one thing you're going to notice is this little cap on the barrel. This is a threaded barrel, even with the standard model, and it does come in the TAC model with the adapter. This, you just unscrew the thread protector, and once you take this off, there's actually a sleeve over the barrel, so we can just pull the sleeve. You'll notice that right here at the bottom there's a little key, and it goes at the bottom when you slip it back in. The barrel comes off, but you've got to be careful getting it over the ejector just like this, and that way you can pull the barrel right out. And so this is suppressor adaptable. All you need, again, is just that little adapter. We're going to put the key right back into that slot and just lock it right back down. Just make sure you get a good grip and take your wrench. Make sure that barrel thread protector is tight. But again, the adapter is available from Walther and from other companies, so it makes it really versatile. Just good and hand tight. Now, you will notice that there are no front slide rails, but that has to do a lot with the system that for the blowback. But we do have pretty hefty guide rails back here at the back. But now when it comes to the slide, now there's a couple of things here I want to show you. This is a metal insert right here, and it guides the bullet in. This is made for, for the longevity of the handgun. Also, you'll notice that right here there's a small little silver piece. This is actually for your slide stop, and this helps to keep that wear from happening, because if it was here at the aluminum, it would wear this after a while because the slide stop is steel. And so we had this little reinforced piece just to be able to add longevity to the pistol. And then if you'll look right down through here, you can see where the nut is to change out that front sight. So it is removable and replaceable. And right back here is your hammer block safety. While you can remove the barrel for disassembly, there's no use to overwear the pistol. I mean, it just doesn't need to unless you're starting to have some issues. But to reassemble, bring back your guide rod, take your recoil spring. Now they do offer this mounting tool. This lines up your slide with the recoil spring, but honestly I haven't needed it. I'll just put it right here with my slide, bring it back, it lines up with the recoil spring, drop it down, and you're good to go. Snap that into place. That's a really nice looking pistol. Now you do get two 12-round magazines with the pistol, and this does have this little follower on the side which makes it really easy to load. These are Walther factory mags, and on the GunBuyer.com website these were running $23.06, which I thought was a great price. The pistol itself retails for $429, I believe. On the GunBuyer website it was $345, so it's a really great price. Really nice for them to send this for the test and evaluation. They support the Suits channel. Check them out and support them. So if you already own a PPQ, this is an excellent companion. But even if you don't, if you're looking for a 22 long rifle pistol that just has those incredible ergonomics, super trigger, and a lot of the other features, this is a great way to go. A lot of times when you pick up a small little 22, they're tiny in the hand. Of course, the recoil is so light, but this really fits a man-sized hand, and the ergonomics are just incredible. And I want to thank my daughter, Sarah Mack, for coming down and helping with Range Day. We always have a lot of fun.
He did.
Dummy.
He did.
And again, I want to thank GunBuyer.com for sending the PPQ 22 for the test and evaluation. It's great to be able to get a lot of different guns to bring to you guys to show you what's out there. So check them out. Be strong, be of good courage. God bless America. Long live the Republic. I mean, it is one of the best striker fired pistols on the market for buying firearms. Really just legendary. Now, this is the 30 grain, and this is a 40, it's all 40 grain. Take 3,000. Gun smoke.